Hello, welcome to this video on Thomas Egenes, lesson 8. In this video we look at exercises 1 to 5, which are on pages 94 to 97 of the printed book. Let me just remove the title page. I'm looking now at page 94. It says we had learnt that the r, that's the subdotted r, the vocalic form, or the r, the consonantal form, changes the following dental n to a cerebral n, or retroflex n. When we use the words cerebral and retroflex, they're just different words for the same thing. So this change will not occur if a t comes between the r or r and the n. In fact, the change will not occur if any dental appears, t, t, d, d, or if any palatal, ch, ch, j, j, or any other retroflex, t, t, d, d, those three rows of consonants, as it were, will block the cerebralization or the retroflexing of the n. And rather than thinking that this is just a weird rule, it actually has a logic to it. The r sound is retroflexed a bit in Sanskrit, and so if the tongue remains in more or less the same place, the following n will be affected by it, even with other sounds intervening. So, for example, Ramayana, there's a retroflex n, even though you've got the Amaya in between. Ramayana. Let me call up my iPad for you. There we are. So the Ramayana, but the n there, from that, so I haven't written it very well, from that r, because the intervening vowels, of course, don't make the tongue change, and the intervening m and y, same effect. But it's only if consonants intervene from the ch, d, and t group, three groups, only if those consonants intervene does it block the cerebralization of the n. You can feel, for example, look at ritu, plural, ritunam, the genitive plural, I should say, ritunam. A t intervenes here, so the n remains a dental. Look at the word Arnava. That r has a direct effect on the following n, makes it retroflex, but what happens in the instrumental? Arnavena. The second n now is not retroflex, because the retroflexing has already happened once, and you only do it once. Once you've done it once, any n following is not affected. So we have, you'll see in paragraph 1, Shastrena. And of course, plural, nominative, accusative, plural, shastrani, with that retroflex n. But amritena, amritani no retroflexing of the n because of the intervening t, which alters the position of the tongue. Just feel it in your mouth. Amrita, you have to alter the position of the tongue from the r to the t to say the t, and that now blocks any further effect of the r on what follows. We'll do more of this in class time, but this is a rule which I found actually I got so thoroughly just assimilated, and you automatically get it right after a while, even to the extent that if you see a misprint with a book where the printer's forgotten to do it, you'll spot it immediately. So let us go now to Exercise 2 says put the following words together using the correct sandhi, which as we now know means putting together, correct sandhi rules, and then write the final form in Devanagari. Now hopefully you will all have the key here. That's page 260 of the printed book of this particular exercise, but I'll go through them anyway. Suputrena atra is putrenatra, the a plus a, putrenatra, which I will write. This is 2 here. We'll write in putra, putrenatra. You notice when I wrote this, I put the long crossbar across the top and the a sign above the tra last. Some writers do it the other way round. I tend to do it like that simply because my handwriting in Devanagari is far from perfect. It's okay, but it's far from perfect. And I find I can just make it neater if I put the a and the or the o laugh, for example. Oops, sorry. Putro. Some people would write it like that. And then the crossbar. Sorry. I tend to write it like that. It's just a personal preference. Like that. Then the crossbar. Simply because generally it comes out neater. It makes no practical difference. So, to be saha acharya becomes sahacharya. Write it sahacharya. Sahacharya. C. Tatra iti. Rule a followed by the e becomes an a, becomes tatreti. Tatreti. Number C, a D rather. Iti atra. Because e followed by a becomes a ya. Itiatra. Iti. The t, ya. Itiatra. E. Iti acharya. Same rule applies. E followed by an a becomes a ya. Ityacharya. Ityacharya. And remember, you saw me writing the y first, and then the hook for the r. So it's a ria, but you write the y, then the hook for the r. F. Devau agachata. The 2 gods are coming. So the au followed by the vowel a, followed by any vowel, becomes an av. So the au, the diphthong au becomes long a with consonantal v, sometimes called a semi-vowel. So devava gacchata. Devav a gacchata. Devava gacchata. G. Nare atra. The a, not a neuter dual here, but this is the locative singular. So it follows the normal rule. Nare atra becomes naretra, with the a dropping out. So nara, nare, nare. Then the anu avagraha, like the apostrophe to indicate the missing a. Naretra. Vane iti. Now a followed by an a. The a remains as is and the a drops out. With another vowel, however, it's the a is shortened to a. So vane iti becomes vana iti. Vana iti. Palani iti. You've got e followed by e, so it just merges into a long e. Palaniti. Palan, that's the ni-ti. Palaniti. J. Smarati atra. Literally, he remembers here. The e followed by a becomes a ya, so smaratiatra. 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 So now, exercise 3. Write in Roman script and take out the sandhi. So A, gachatiti. Actually, I'll write it in Roman script and then with and without the sandhi. Gacha. I'll put it in my circumflex just to show it. I mentioned the circumflex in the previous video, just to indicate for those who haven't watched it or don't remember. The E plus E, the same applies to any merging vowels. Will result in a longer merged vowel, just write the macron. But by convention, certain grammarians, lexicographers, including Monia Williams, will, by way of assistance to the student, write a circumflex. No effect on the pronunciation, no grammatical effect, not reflected in Devanagari script. This is purely a convention in Roman script to assist students using the Roman script. The circumflex indicates that this long vowel is a merger of two other vowels. So that's all the only reason it's there. And so with sandhi resolve, that's taken apart. This is gacchati iti. B. Gajava gacchataha. The two elephants are coming. That is, as written in Devanagari, Gajava gacchataha. With sandhi resolved, it's gajau agacchataha. C. Prichitya gacchaticha. He asks and he comes. which is Sandhi resolved. It's Prichati. I wouldn't write all Gachati cha. D. Gachamiti. Which of course is Gachami iti. E. Hasta iti. Now you see there is a vowel hiatus here. Therefore, you know that that must be the result of a previous sandhi. So it would be, what would it have been? It probably, almost certainly, haste iti, in the hand, thus. Haste. So haste iti, and with resolution of the sandhi, haste iti. Haste iti is the correct form, of course. F. Nripasyashvaha, the king's horse. Nripasyashvaha, which is the sandhi resolved. Nripasya ashvaha. G. Ashvetra, on the horse here. So Ashvetra. Resolves to, Ashveatra, on the horse here. H. Kutrashvaha, where is the horse? Kutrashvaha is resolved from Kutra Ashvaha. I. Kutreti, from Kutra. Note that there's some circumflex I've written over the A. Of course, the A is always long, and here, of course, the circumflex is not there to indicate that it's long, and A or always are put there to indicate, as I mentioned before, that it's just the merger of two vowels. Kutra iti merges to kutreti. It's normally it would be just written in romanization, kutreti, like this, with no circumflex. I put the circumflex in as an optional extra for the reasons I explained, to assist students. And J is gachatyatra. He goes here. Gachatyatra. Resolved from gachati atra. So that concludes exercise 3. Now proceed to exercise 4. Sorry, where the Thomas Egenes says, in the following exercises, remember that the subject and the predicate nominative are put in the nominative case, since they both refer to the same subject. For example, Rama is the son, would be Rama putro bhavati. If A is B, they both go in the nominative. And it's the same with all inflected languages that I've come across. A is B. Or just Rama, the son, says Rama putro vadati. They're in apposition. They're both in the same case because one simply qualifies the other. Egenes goes on to say, in this text, the predicate nominative, like A is B, that is B then is the predicate. Predicate nominative is usually placed after the subject, though other word orders are equally common. Well, I think we have to cross out equally here, because if it's usually placed, then it follows something else can't be equally common. It might be common, but less common. So other word orders are common. Now, for exercise 5, you're invited here to do an exercise in writing, transliteration and writing. Is cover up the Roman, transliterate each sentence, then cover the Devanagari and write in Devanagari, then take out any sandhi. So I don't think it's going to be necessary to go through all this in detail, because it's very much something that you can write out for yourselves. I will just go through a couple of them. And of course there's the translation into English, which I will do. So the first one, I'll read without sandhi and then with sandhi. Rama gramat vanam gacchati. Rama, the subject, gacchati, goes. Gramat, the ablative, from the village. Vanam, accusative of motion, to the forest. The sandhi Rama becomes Ramo before a voiced consonant, a g. So Ramo, and Gramad Vanam. The final T, or any final unvoiced stop consonant. T is the most common to find. It applies also to a k as well. It becomes voiced before a following voiced consonant. So Gramat Vanam becomes Gramad Vanam, so pronounced and so written. In the Devanagari that's written for you is written without sandhi, where you see the word Gramat with the virama under the t to indicate no vowel, followed by Vanam. In normal running Sanskrit, you would never actually have that. The verb, see, so Gramat Vanam, I'll write it in Devanagari. Gra, 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 ma. Now, the letter D is that, and the letter V is that. We want to combine them. What happens is you write the D and then just tuck the characteristic part of the V in underneath there. That is now a dv. So watch this. Gramadvanam. B. Amritan jnanasya phalam bhavati. And the only sandhi to be done in this is the final which has been written in the Devanagari here, is with a full consonantal M, just becomes the anuswara. So amritam. Amritam here is used as a neuter noun, immortality. So amritam, immortality, jnanasya, of knowledge, phalam bhavati, the fruit is. That means immortality is the fruit of knowledge. If you get knowledge, the result is immortality. So amritan, note, amritam jnanasya. If I pronounce that word in isolation, amritam, I pronounce it with a final M, amritam. But with the following nya, it changes to amritanyanasya palam bhavati. In the palam bhavati, it remains a sound by Sandhi because it's followed by the labial bha, palam bhavati. So amritam jnanasya palam bhavati. C. Jnanam satyam bhavatiti balah shastre patanti. So subject balah, the boys or the children, boys. Patanti, read. Shastre, in the scripture. So what do they read in the scripture? Jnanam satyam bhavati. Knowledge, truth is. Okay, truth is knowledge. But since it's a quote, truth is knowledge, unquote, the boys read in the scripture. Jnanam satyam bhavati iti. So satyam bhavati iti. Bala shastre patanti. Jnanam satyam bhavatiti balah shastre patanti. D. Amritasya putra bhavate tyacharya shishyan vadati. Okay. So the acharya, the teacher, vadati says shishyan. In English, you say something to somebody. In Sanskrit, the vadati takes the direct, or it takes the accusative. So shishyan, accusative plural, vadati. Acharya shishyan vadati. The teacher says to the students. What does he say? Bhavata, you are. Bhavata iti, unquote, what the teacher says, comes bhavateti. And with the following acharya, bhavateti acharya. There are two sandhis here. The bhavati iti acharya becomes bhavateti acharya. So, bhavata, what are you? Amritasya putra. The putra, the sons, amritasya, of immortality. So, without sandhi, amritasya putra bhavata iti acharya shishyan vadati. With sandhi, amritasya putra bhavate tyacharya shishyan vadati. And as we know, the visarga putra, nominative plural, sons, you are the sons, bhavata, before the voiced consonant bha, the visarga drops out. So putra bhavata, you are the sons. E. Kattamacharyaha suktani smaranti. So kattam, how. Acharyaha, the teachers. Suktani, the hymns or the verses. Smaranti, how do they remember them? So smaranti, they remember. Suktani smaranti, they remember the suktas. Kattamacharya suktani smaranti, how do the teachers remember the suktas? The only sandhi that you would put in this sentence, if you're writing it in Devanagari with sandhi, is, you see, in Roman we have kattam acharyaha. Writing this now correctly in Devanagari, is kattam and the acharya follows on as if it's part of the same word. So here is a ma. So it's from katam acharya. And this is one of the pitfalls to be alert to when you're reading Sanskrit in Devanagari, because unless you've got a good grasp of what's being written, you don't know the words. You'll see this ma there, and you think that the ma is part of a word with this ma in it. Well, it's not. It's katam acharya. The most common trap there is with an M followed by a vowel, and they're merged together, so you can't immediately detect that it's part of two words. Just be alert to that. So, sentence F. Shastreshu satyam pashyamiti Ramo vadati. So Ramo I'll say this with Santi now. Ramo vadati. Rama says. So Rama says something that you're quoting. So it's something iti Ramo vadati. So Shastreshu, in the Shastras, in the scriptures, Satyam pashyami. Satyam, the truth, pashyami, I see. So Rama says, I see the truth in the scriptures. Shastreshu satyam pashyamiti Ramo vadati. So literally, I see the truth in the scriptures, thus Rama says. In English, it would be more normal to say, as the sentence is translated in the key at page 260. Rama says that he sees the truth in the scriptures. You couldn't translate it, you couldn't put that literally into Sanskrit. It just wouldn't do it that way. It has to be a direct quote followed by iti. Sentence G. Kutra suktanam jnanam bhavatiti virah putram prichati. Read again. Kutra suktanam jnanam bhavatiti virah putram prichati. So the hero, the virah, prichati asks. Vira putram prichati, the hero asks the boy. So, as usual, we say the question in the exact words used by the speaker, followed by iti. So something iti, vira putram prichati. So the question is, kutra suktanam jnanam bhavati? Where, kutra, is the knowledge of the hymns, suktanam jnanam. Jnanam, knowledge, suktanam, of the hymns, bhavati, is. So kutra suktanam jnanam bhavati tivirah putram prichati. So the sandhi to be applied here is simply that the final M becomes anusvara, that's with a dot before a following consonant, and the bhavati iti, of course, becomes bhavatiti. Finally, sentence H. With sandhi, nripo balaya pustakam patati. So patati, he reads. The word, of course, used to mean just recite out loud. In later times, it came to mean read, even reading quietly to oneself. But remember, in older times, you refer to reciting out loud. So nripa patati, the king reads, to the boy, balaya in the dative, pustakam, a book or the book. So the king is reading a book to the boy. The king reads the book to the boy. Nripo balaya pustakam patati. So that concludes this video, and I will proceed to the next video, restarting at exercise 6 on page 97.